Hi, bo, fellow South Africans. Hi, bo, fellow South Africans. Ngiyanisaba, fellow South Africans. What did y'all do to our government? Our government suddenly, my jaw is literally on the floor. Listen, I get it that I shouldn't praise a fish for swimming. Yeah, I get that and I agree with you, but this is something that is new to us. So you're going to have to forgive us here and there. And secondly, I know some of you are going to say, do you trust him? No, I don't trust him. I don't trust Ramaphosa. I've said this way before he was even president of this country when I used to tweet. And I would warn South Africa about this man and say, is this what you really want? And when you do get what you want, do not cry because this man has a silver tongue. So I get it. But let's also acknowledge the corner that Much and Much has pushed them against, because every Thursday marches can manifest, So he doesn't want that manifestation. I mean, every Thursday, there's going to be a march. At some point, that march, if the government is not listening, might manifest into a total shutdown. Yeah, the kind of shutdown that Fikile Mbalula is propagating about March and March. March and March has never called for a national shutdown, ever. Ever. March and March has always said that the 30th of June is not their program, but because we are in this fight, they are going to participate. They don't go to the source of the 30th of June 2026 being uphakela umthakathi insizwa nomtsizwa. That's where it came from. And I can tell you, umtsizwa nomtsizwa never said that it's going to be a shutdown. So Fikile Mbalula is a liar. But what do we do? ANC is desperate right now. So we don't care about that. What we care about is the power that we borrowed this government to look after us and our peace of mind, national security, and our sovereignty. So without talking too much, I will come back after this video because wow. So the president of this country braved one of the biggest importers of illegal foreigners into South Africa. And he was assertive about it. He says they had a long conversation. So let me not spoil this conversation they had. Here it is.
I had very long and deep discussions with President Tshisekedi about a variety of matters that concern the peoples of Africa, including the challenge that South Africa is going through now on the migration issue, as he mentioned. And I want to echo the message that he delivered here, that whatever challenges that various countries, including South Africa, may be facing with regard to migration, the issue of migration affects all of us. And indeed, it's an issue that is raging all over the world. And his caution and his very kind message that it should be handled with due care for the lives of all who are affected, that is precisely what we are doing in South Africa. We are guided by our constitution that promotes the respect for human rights, the dignity of others. Yes, we face this challenge where a number of our countrymen and women have been protesting against the presence of people from other countries. The government of the Republic of South Africa is firm in saying that we have a duty to respect the rights of all people on our continent. And we also have a duty to protect all people who live in our country and ensure that they are not subjected to violence, and ensure that all of us, South Africans and otherwise, respect the rule of law. 2 days ago, we had a nationwide protest where our security forces ensured that law and order is observed, even as a number of people in our country were protesting, but our security forces were firm in making sure that the respect of all people, including foreign nationals, is respected, whether they are documented or not documented, that their dignity, their lives are protected. Yes, those who have been protesting because they are concerned about their own livelihoods, arguing that they don't have employment, they're poor. Our government has heeded that, but it has also heeded the quest for safety and security by those who may not be South Africans. The balance that President Tshisekedi is talking about is precisely how we are seeking to handle this whole challenge. It is a challenge that we are handling with due care for the rights of those who are saying that they are unemployed and they are poor in our country, and as well as the rights of those who may not be properly documented in our country, and saying they need to be treated with dignity and safely, and they should not be subjected to any form of harassment or injury. That is a balance that our government has decided on, but we've also said that we will be sending out envoys to the rest of the continent so that we can have proper discussions to discuss the whole issue of migration on a balanced basis. And we've also said that we'd like to cooperate with all countries that may have their nationals in South Africa. The issue of migration cannot be handled by one country alone. We need to work together as African sister countries to address it and find solutions that will be fitting to the problem that we now have. And President Tshisekedi, I thank you for your kind message. The same message has actually been delivered to me by a number of other heads of state who have said, as you have said, you understand the challenge that we are facing. We're facing a challenge from South Africans, but we're also saying those who are not South Africans' rights must be respected. And therefore, a balanced solution needs to be found, and that is why we're calling on cooperation from our sister countries at the leadership level as well as at the citizens level, so that together we may move forward. I would say as I end that all countries will say that they require that everyone who is in a country should be properly documented as they are in the country, because that in a way gives security, that in a way entrenches the rights that anyone would have. So therefore, with that message, we are saying to our African brothers and sisters, let us work together to resolve this problem. In the end, I'd like to thank you, my dear brother, President Tshisekedi, for welcoming us once again to Kinshasa and for spending the entire day with us dealing with matters of health, of security, and other global matters, including the matter I've just touched on of migration.
Yeah, yeah. I have never seen or heard Ramaphosa sound so serious, so assertive. So, like, I'm serious about this because it doesn't make sense, guys, if you look at what is going on in the DRC. The so-called war that is happening in the DRC, it's happening in the eastern part of the DRC, while the rest of the country People are living la vida loca. They're living a good life. They have beautiful cities that are peaceful, no M23 or whatever the case might be that is happening in the east of the DRC. And the question you have to ask yourself then, why aren't people fleeing from the east of Congo to the west, cross the river, or whatever the case is, and find refuge there? They are being naughty. They are being inconsiderate because they think South Africa, it is where milk and honey falls from the sky. And so they are going to find their own pot of gold. Ironically, by the way, because the east of the Congo, it's pretty rich with mineral resources that they have given up to the west and also to the east. And so now that becomes our problem. What Ramaphosa is saying is 100% true. We cannot be having Africa as a whole coming here and becoming our responsibility. And the part that really drives me up the wall, which is mixed with a lot of lies, you see the little truth that may have been there, gone, because it's so propagated, this thing that they try to throw at us and think that South Africans will be like, oh yeah, you guys helped us during apartheid. Okay, come in, do as you please in our country. No, no. Solidarity for us during the days of apartheid does not equate to you feeling entitled to another sovereignty. You're only entitled to your own country. The rights that we fought for and had people die for it, they are not yours. When you enter a country of another person, you are there by courtesy of that country. It's a privilege. It's not a right. So when a country invites you and say, hey, since you are having trouble in your country, we would like to temporarily house you, but you need to follow the rules. At what point do you feel you are now entitled to that household? That you can now walk into my bedroom, sit on my bed, and do as you please, open my fridge, take whatever it is that you want to take without asking me for permission. You are badly raised. That's one thing I have come to notice, particularly the West Africans. Not all West Africans, Nigerians and Ghanaians. They don't know what is self-respect to begin with, and then respecting other people's property. Of course, I'm not talking about all Nigerians and Ghanaians. I'm sure there are those that are raised right. I mean, we do see them, by the way. But to be honest, some of y'all, you look at you and you're like, but were you raised by a pack of wolves? Is that what you're giving me? You are a representation of your country. You are a representation of your family by how you behave. So I'm very glad that Ramaphosa put his foot down to the most contributing of illegal foreigners in this country, the DRC. I don't know what the president's name, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but that's whom he met with. That's whom he is now briefing the media, the conversations that they've had. But that message also is directed at other African leaders. Nigeria, Ghana, Uganda, Zimbabwe, Malawi, Zambia. All of y'all on the African continent, we are not your responsibility. You are your own responsibility and your own life if you are hungry. And you know very well that you're not supposed to be hungry because underneath your earth, there are many resources that are being pillaged. You need to stand up and go fight for them so that you can stop the hunger. And in order for you to do that is to go straight and directly to your leaders and demand for them to step down because they are the ones that are selling you off. So you need to be vigilant. You need to stand up. You need to brave up. And you must be willing to die for your country. Stop being cowards. But fellow South Africans, NGIYANISABA. I'm terrified of South Africans. When South Africans want something, they get it. And I say this all the time to our African counterparts. They laugh at it. And I'm like, you can laugh, but let me tell you something. At the end of the day, the government will do as South Africans say. I know it's something that is not familiar to many Africans because you keep seeing the same theme all the time. Why the government does not arrest the protest organizers? What have they done? For exercising their constitutional right, you must arrest them? Y'all are exposing yourselves because most of these people that are asking these questions, they are not leaders of those countries. They are the voters of those countries. And then you wonder why you are suppressed because when you exercise a right you to believe you are inherently supposed to have, you say, no, it's wrong. Arrest me if I ever organize a protest. Y'all are sick. And South Africa will never be like African countries, ever. We are an African country, but we are not a typical African country. They get surprised when they see our police escorting the protests. And they're asking, why aren't you arresting them? For what? The march is peaceful. The propaganda that you are spreading, that's the part that the police will not do. Make arrests on false allegations in this country. If you're going to falsely arrest a South African, the police will get sued. And the police can even go to jail, defeating the ends of justice, wasteful expenditure, and wasting state resources, especially where there's no evidence. You want the police to arrest people that are peacefully protesting because you've lost your culture along the way. You're seeing people carrying sticks and you think they are being violent. And we are the colonized ones. We were all colonized. But the colonized brain is you because you have abandoned your cultures. South Africans have not abandoned our cultures. We speak our languages proud. And you guys even made videos asking questions like, why is it South Africans that will speak English, and boom, they start speaking their mother tongue? It's because we are proud. You see the evidence we give you? And then you see us wearing our traditional attires and carrying sticks and branches. And then you want the police to arrest us for that? Child, please. Anyways, fellow South Africans, I came to say hi, Nyashisa Shem. Nyashisa. Ooh, look at me, I'm burned. Y'all South Africans, y'all not to be messed with. I love y'all for that. Anyways, I'm excited, and I think exciting things are happening and continue to happen. And people are also now leaving because they thought South Africans, they're only doing this for one day. No, that one day was a deadline. After that, uzokhomba ungenatshwala. And I don't mean that in a violent way. As you've seen, South Africans are calling police and they are pointing and saying, that house there is full of illegal foreigners. And by the way, if you listen to Kumbuzo Chabedi, when she asked where are the dens, she was asking you, fellow South Africans, that know where the drug dens are. So point them out. She will send the police to that address. It was to you. I love this. I'm loving everything about, and am I the only one who's crying every time I see a TikTok video of a South African finding a job that was blocked by illegal foreigner? Am I the only one? Like Mr. Delivery, Uber Eats, Uber. Today I even went on a ride on an Uber just to check. Tell me why it's South Africans. Remember the other day when on the 30th, I could not go to the city because in my area, there are a lot of illegal foreigners that are Uber drivers and Bolt drivers. Now, sis kuluma, either it's Tswana or Chidi. Yesterday, I was in a Uber that the radio, the person was playing, was listening to radio. and it was Chivenda. And I'm telling him that, Chivenda to me is like my French. You know how people love French? Me, I love Chivenda. I always wanted to learn Chivenda. So we had a conversation about that. And I was like, I used to watch Mubango so much because I wanted to learn the language. I picked up here, there, and there. But no one was there to teach me. So we had a great conversation. South Africans now we are seeing. It's almost like back in the day. We are not going to be forced to accept things that we do not want. Nobody's going to force us. Anyways, this video was not intended to be long. I just wanted you guys to see and hear with your own ears how much and much has pushed the government against the wall. And this is not to say to the government, because we are saying this, no, we respect what you're doing. It's just that we wanted you to do this from the beginning. Not because you are being pushed against the corner. And of course, the Thursday marches, they have a potential of manifesting. And that's the manifestation that you need to curb by making sure that you listen to South Africans. Not when South Africans are going this way and you go the other way. No. Follow what the South Africans are saying. And your job will be easier. Anyways, I shall see y'all next time with my new video. But it is Friday evening. I hope you all have a great Friday evening. Goodbye. I love it. I'm loving this. I'm loving this.